Hi.
Hi, good evening. It took forever to get on tonight. Sorry about that.
All right.
Uh,
I just got AT&T super super they installed new what do they call that? Uh,
Router,
no, the lines, they're not the
optical
cup.
cable,
Yeah,
fiber
optical, but
optics.
they did it fiber optics. That's it. In the whole neighborhood here where I live, and so they hooked me up last week, and it's supposed to be great.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's cool. It works.
Yeah, it's so far no problems.
All right. So I'm not sure what I have, but I think it's my computer, not the wiring, which is the problem.
Ah,
The old computer.
I don't even have a computer anymore.
I know you use phone, right? Uh,
I have us on Daf page Nun Zion, about in the middle of the page.
right. So this is I have us up to
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Otomari Mim, Shmira Shmita.
Nun Ches. Let's see. Do we have any more?
That's not sure.
Page Nun Ches. Let's see. Vehine Alavim.
See where is actually this. Oh, here it is. Vinay Hanavim. Yeah, Vinay Hanavim. Actually, you're right. That's what we're up to. Okay. So I have written on the side of my wrote here the notes using our mitzvahs for the imagery of the past and future glories. So we use our mitzvahs in order to figure out what we're supposed to ideally be in the future. There's including mitzvahs which now we don't do properly, like Trumas and Maisash and Shemitah and such like. Uh, they're supposed to commemorate for us what it once was and what we're looking forward to in the future. Uh, Hinei Levim, Ela Tovim, those who are good, and Nugim, and Nugim is a strange word. Literally, it should mean pampered, but here it means, I think, the ones who are pleasant. Ashlalchulav Avenu, which capture our hearts. Benoam Zimrasam, in the pleasantness of their song, the Kodesh. In the holy areas, in the Beis Hamikdash, Biskadesh Chag, when the Yom Tovim ensued, Kasher Alinu Liros, but when we went up to see Badras Kavod, Mikdash Kel Yerushalayim, the the splendor of the majesty of the Beis Hamikdash Yerushalayim, Los Pnei Adon Hashem so to see the countenance of our Master, the God of Israel, Pnei Matzoalim Vadinim, their faces, which were radiant and delicate. Maskin Lona Zimrosam Kodesh. Evidently, he holds that Levim look different today. I don't know how that's the case. But Levim today is supposed to remind us somehow, well, of their holy music.
I think he just means that their faces shone with their holiness. I think
Yeah, but he says Maskim Lanu.
Zimrasum Kaidish. Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like they're supposed to remind us today.
Yeah.
Vanach, no, maybe Rav Kook was very holy. You could tell who's a Levi. Vanachnu adnim. And we ourselves find pleasure. But nachalei adanim ruchniim in rivers of spiritual pleasure. Nosim lem b'lei malei v'simcha, and we give them. I don't know. I guess he doesn't mean nowadays because they don't give mice nowadays. So he must mean the time in the Beis Hamikdash. So he says, "But nosim lem b'lei malei simcha v'osha." We give them a heart full of happiness and satisfaction. Eschol kamas hamaser. So evidently he's saying we see Levium and we want to give Meiser because we know what service they do for us when they sing for us in Beis Hamikdash. On Yisrael Bar Hashem, and we will come to meet them on the mountain of God in Moed Karov in next Yontif after we give the Meiser. Ma'ir Havlu Avenu, and how broad will our heart become? The roses Ela Konei Hashem Levim, the view of to see the Kohanim and Levim Hashem Ba'avodas Kocham in their holy work B'Shras Uzam and in their powerful song. Ashrei Yom Shekach Alo, Ashrei Yom Sheshem Elokov. The Kadmonios Ushleimos Inu Mazgagim. So, like we said before, we for these ancient times and these perfect times we yearn. But now I want to interject my cynicism here, which is that there were very few years in Am Yisrael's history in which actually this was operative. Even times the Beis Hamikdash existed, there are many years in which the Beis Hamikdash was overrun with avodah zarah or inappropriate behavior by other groups, such as the Tzdokim. So, in a sense, this nostalgia for bygone times is either a very curtailed experience we're talking about. I often say it's about less than 80 years during the time of David and Shlomo, or it's something where we imagine that there's something which is a bookmark which exists, even though it really didn't exist very long, and it wasn't very strong, and it wasn't very dominant, but it did exist. So therefore, it can serve as a point of reference. So it doesn't matter if they're like 50 years of positive years in Am Yisrael's history. Let those 50 years be a place marker, you know, a sign which we can look forward to returning. It says, "L'kamoni." That's the kamonios shleimusinum is gagim. We're yearning for ancient times and perfected times. So gaguim and gaguim Elohim, and these yearnings are divine in the yearnings. Chayvetz tamir. This is a hidden desire. Malei chayim azizim, full of powerful life. Recording original life. Mikor chay Elohim, the source of the lives of the world. Mamlocha or mikdash. And the things which you're yearning for are the kingship and the Beis Hamikdash, Kuna Nebuah, the priesthood and the prophecy. Why it is so important to us? Because Hamadbim is Chosamam, they coin with their form all the general aspects of life. In which we have no less interest in everybody else, which of course is why we bring the Karbanos on Sukkot corresponding to the 7 nations of the world. We're no less concerned with any of the issues of the world than any other nation.
Yeah.
Mara Gedola, Shagvura Chamris. It's interesting, Mara.
There's Mida G'dayla.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how Mara fit in there because Mara is like a negative thing. Mida Gedola, Shagvura Chamris, a powerful measure of material strength. Shamusar Enoshi, of human musar. Shakvod Lami, of the national honor. Shal Osher Amami, of popular riches. Interesting. It's kind of like an oxymoron because not the riches should not be reserved for the upper class, but rather Osher Amami. It should be a national riches. Expansiveness of life. Sorry, all these issues. Doreshes he lanu kunos chaim kela demands of us life factors, characteristics like this. Shamargolios ruchanios mitzianos muflaos. They are spiritual pearls, outstanding and wondrous. Mikola Adam, Hashem Adama, which are greater, it seems, than all human beings. I'm not sure what he means by that. I think it means that Jewish people have more of this of these traits than anybody else. And they are exemplary in our national soul. But they can be embedded within it. To enhance its beauty, and to give courage and power internally. For difference in majesty and splendor externally. Our ideology of the perfection of our life, which is just so distant and beyond us. At the same time, it's close and sensed. The entirety of our souls. How so? That seems to be a contradiction. As long as they're not trying to deliberately forget it. As long as we listen to our internal voice. Which draws us to give place to memories, which sustain it. Sustain what? The neshama?
Yeah, b'mloimish nishmasenu, the האידיאולוגיה שלנו של שלימוס חיינו.
or that ideology of the perfection of life, as long as not trying to forget it. And August will listen to her voice. So which give us room for the memories which sustain it. God makes people saw even at the time of its lowness, time when it doesn't seem to be operative fully. Bios ka'uv me'eretz kola. If nothing else, that it should be calling out to us in a hurt voice. Hamikdash zeu ha'mochon shel hakultus hadati. Wow, that's the play. Woo. The Beis Hamikdash is the foundation of the religious cult. I don't know if I'd use that term ever.
Well, cult has a very negative connotation, but
yeah,
maybe we should say adherents or followers or
okay. Any
something.
word is better than cult.
Maybe we could spell cult with a K.
Hatik asher yeh chadash lahad, the ancient which is always going to be renewed. Asher ha'ikach cherem, which smote and destroyed. That's Elius, paganism. In Tovaseh, if it's with abominations, Vanasa and Yushus, and gave humanity basis tahar, a pure basis, v'nizgav, and a lofty basis, for its spiritual life. From which its illumination came, and its freedom came. Which constantly developed over the course of human history. What do you have here?
Misrashlos.
That means to be lazy. They get lazy in the Malchon in their pursuit. The more distant they are from the source of their source. The main point is that eventually they're going to be overwhelming. Basically, they return from the place in which they came. A healthy humankind. She recognizes the majesty and divinity. Will constantly want to remain opposite it. Like a child nursing from its mother.
Yes.
It'll be forgotten because of its height. I guess because of its focus. Oro, its light, Vuzo, and its power. And all of its intelligence. You should know that more precious than anything else is its natural common sense. And I don't know what that means. It's natural emotion, which is smartens more than any brilliance. Okay, I'm not sure what he means by that. It's built on the firm foundation of its psychological nature. And is adorned by the crown of cognition. Which comes constantly lifts itself. Will always understand to remain hidden. It's because it turns inside the neshama. It's called neshama, and it draws toward entire neshama. And always send forth its lines. As call to uplift everything amarom uzad to its powerful redoubt, its powerful dwelling place. And bring down the beauty and glory of divinity, or divine beauty and glory, into the neshama. The yearnings for relationship, and a practical closeness, will become overwhelming. Chopinos das musar, in all aspects of das of knowledge and musar and ethics, yashpiu al regesh ne'arantz ze es orem, will impart to this lofty emotion its lights. B'makom echad b'mla tevel in one place in the totality of creation. Kedai lo lenushus lirosis atzma betumas yaldusa. Mankind should see itself in the way it looks as a youngster. V'chosen gvuras hadar. This is something Rabbi Tzadok and others say. Some places, I forget the exact language, but there's no more powerful chasidus than at the beginning of the process. In other words, whenever you're beginning a process, it's something which is very powerful. Later on, it settles down. It's not as powerful anymore. But he's saying that the uh, uh, the it says Mishakek says called neshama. It tries to uplift everything. It's always it's going to bring the beauty and I went back a few lines. The yearnings of relationship and here's what I was up to. Sorry. One place in the entire creation, is part of humanity. To see itself to masi al in the innocence of its youth, when it was driven, right, with any ulterior motives and any distraction. But with the power of the strength of a child, and with the radiance of the pleasure of the uplifting of the general soul of Am Yisrael. Which is sealed with a seal with the amazing aspects of this ancient concept. Yisrael Hashav. You have a Hashav?
Yes, of a shav period.
Okay, I'm not sure how Chuba got into this. Ein Kates Oneg Ashira. There is no end to the pleasure of the song Ashetis Cholel B'Chol Olam, which will be played in the entire world. Hanei Or, which is aroused the Raglei Machzenis Gavazeh by seeing this lofty Avodah of Am Yisrael, which I guess the time the Gula. So Ischachu say to renew the original ancients. Shemakor Shira, the original ancient sources of the song, Valakis and the divine source, Shebisrael Marom Ozo, which in Am Yisrael finds its highest manifestation. Only a fool with no heart. Who can't have his voice expressed at the time that the light is arousing. Will want to put makeup, powder on his on this new civilization, which is too little, too much at the same time. Be'eva v'tachrus, when it's full of competition. What was the place here? And all illness and anger. And the waves of life which are healthy and ancient, which lift us up with pride to the heights of heaven. Everything was able to rejoice specifically with the count with perceiving the natural light force, as it is in all the innocence of its ancient origin. Which specifically then illuminates with all the loot, literally all the array of its lights and fursim and pasam and scatters and misob ad adam rav, and again on many people. So all this last thing is very strange to me. Seems very flowery, but I'm not really getting it. The idea, I think, is that you have to have a drive like a youngster, but the drive has to be for some idealistic purpose, and not something superficial. And that he says is something which is a valid purpose. Has to be something which brings more light and illumination to Am Yisrael and scatters this illumination throughout Am Yisrael. So everything else which he speaks about here is just leading up to this idea that there is this history and there are things that have been going on, and we reference them like the cultus, the cult, aspect which you spoke about before. But the idea is all this is to give us a frame of reference in order to enhance ourselves in the future. Okay, I'm not. It seems like it took a long time to say that. Do you?
Yeah, it was not a small idea.
Yeah.
You
But
can't you can't sum up what he has just said very concisely. It's a lengthy. It takes. I think it's taking a while for the
but I tell
ideas
you,
to
I'll
unfold.
tell you what I say, Marshall here, which is most people. I don't mean this literally, obviously. Most people are colorblind, and Rav Kook saw the world in intense color.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
that's what he's
absolutely.
saying.
He definitely saw the vividness of the world, absolutely,
Right.
the spiritual world and the physical world.
Right. And he says you have to retain a sense of youth for this. And this goes back to his idea that the youth of today, his day, were had this precious commodity, which is their drive and their vigor. And this is something which we're supposed to harness in order and take without any exterior adornment, without any putting too much pageantry or light or culture into it, in order to be able to experience the various different lights which are necessary in order to experience divine pleasure, like you said before, from the Levium singing in the Beis Hamikdash.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Okay,
not a simple idea.
no. All right, Mir Hashem will continue with Vav next week.
Yes,
Shkoyach.
sir. Shkaya.
Okay,
Thank you.
take care.
Take care.
Bye bye.